Bit of streaming today, a little bit of programming. Should be a good day. Just making sure that everything's coming up online okay. Looks like we're good. So I'm just kinda gonna launch into it and see what I can do for the day. It should be fun. I've been trucking along trying to build out some reagent components that I can use to improve my design workflow as I go, and I'm just going to keep working on those things for the day. So that should be what we see today. So I may as well just get right into it. Here we are. So what I've got going on, well, before I do that, let me just check in on here. Got things working kinda. Oh boy. Yeah, things are up, things are on. Okay. Right, so I gotta get into my right frame of mind, and actually I have to close up my curtain for a second. It's a little bright, shining right in my face. We'll do it this way instead. Perfect. Okay. What do I have going on here? So I've got my document rendering library up here. I've got a REPL here. This is a Clojure REPL running this library. Here I've got a Closurescript file. It's just called ASDF app because I had nothing else to call it, and it's all work in progress stuff. In here I've got my browser running this reagent app, and here I have this is a Closurescript REPL right there. So if I make changes to the components in this file here, let's see what's a good example here. If I go here, right, if I look at the header and I change it, right, make the save, we see it show up right here, hot reloading with Figwheel. I have I can change the CSS and everything here, all nice and simple. Well, it's theoretically straightforward anyway. So what I have, if I look over at, well, actually, let me first do something here. If I go to my SVG here, I've got a few different things that I pulled in from this library right into the app library here. And I might want to change that around because I have a different approach I want to take with it. I also have this where'd it go? I wanted to quickly change my CSS around because I noticed something. I think here it is. So I want this to be I think this will work. Yeah, okay. All I was doing there, if I get rid of this root SVG, then this SVG in the Figwheel pop-up has a border around it. It's not that important actually, but just just for kicks. Change it up. So there's some things that I have to figure out how to clean up, right? So what like right here, for example, this is a dimension, but it's scaled different. Its scale is way off relative to everything else. So if I change the scale and redraw things, now it's in like that looks pretty good. But scale also changes. Oops. There's obviously some problems here with drag and drop as well. All of this is stuff to fix up. So here, right, I've got something that's exactly 20, but if I scale this, let's say double the size, right? Now, if I add something here, you get weird problems where the state, like the scale applied to this point is obviously wrong in comparison to the state applied here. So that just is no good, obviously. It's not good. So if I clear it, then every new point drawn has that new state and that new scale associated with it. So there's obvious work to do there. But before I do that, I kind of want to clean up how I'm even making these components. So I have two different workflow ideas going through my mind here. What I've been doing a lot before is running this watcher, it basically as a CLI, command line interface, to this library. It reads a markdown file with code calls in it and then produces an HTML file as output. It's a one-way thing. You just watch the file and it spits out the rendered output. But this is an interactive front-end sort of thing, right? So what I want is to have, what I kind of want is to set up the stylo library to have a CLI built in as a simple additional namespace so you can use it just as is, but have it as a dependency into this app, so I can build I can work on the library and the app totally separately. But in order to do that, there's a few things I need in the stylo library, because I still want to be able to render into the document useful components and stuff. I need to have a system. I need to separate them intelligently but usefully, if that makes any sense. I'm not entirely sure that's making sense, but I have to figure out how to cleanly indicate cleanly build out the infrastructure anyway. So what I have here, right, is if I look into the dependencies of the app, the reagent app, right? So I've got, for development, I've got Figwheel in here. I also have reagent. I'm actually just going to reorder this because these are all the important things. Technically, I don't need Clojure in this here, but I've just left it in just because I might use it for build script things later. So Closurescript and reagent. I do believe 0.10.0 is the most recent version, or close to it. And reagent is a Closurescript library that lets you use React. People love it. I am learning it and already starting to love it. But right here, I have a local library, which is this here. So I'm pulling it in, and what I kind of want to figure out now is minimal changes to the stylo library so that I can just import it directly into a Closurescript context without any problems, and start to figure out how I can better pull in components from the stylo library so that I don't so I'm not duplicating things all the time here. So I think that's kind of the general approach I want to take here. So for example, all of these things, or most of them, dot and label and polygon, I want to pull from here instead. So in fact, if let me just change one thing and see if I can get there quickly. If I go to the drawable, names also, I don't have the perfect setup for names and everything, but my brain fills up too quickly with all these ideas and things, and it's sometimes difficult to figure out what to prioritize. What I think I want to prioritize is getting something into the hands of potential users that is useful. And by users, I mean get it out on a blog or something like that so people can play around with it. I don't know. And then I can kind of from there figure out what is really important and what I can kind of put off to later. Anyway, idea, or the first thing I wanted to do here. So I have the silo.draw namespace as a dependency. What am I trying to do? Yeah, namespace here, stylo.draw as D, right? So I did copy the polygon thing, I think without changes. So what I should be able to do is just this and see no difference in the component when I save that. So if I just scale this to 12 right away. Okay, that looks like it works without issue, which is really nice. Pretty happy with that. Well, that's weird. Huh. I don't know why it's doing that. It might be because there's a divide by zero problem in the render or something like that. I don't know. But I'm looking at the dimension here. That's what I'm kind of thinking about. So the idea ultimately with this sort of tool is so the dimension thing I can turn off, that's no problem. I want to draw out shapes quickly and then get these coordinates back into whatever document I'm working on, because I think that would be pretty cool. Right, so it looks like the polygon thing works without a problem at all. So I'm going to actually go ahead and delete that, save it, and see if there's any build problems. I don't think there will be. Even if I refresh the page entirely, it should all work just fine, which is what I'm hoping for. And indeed, that is the case. So for right now, if I go back down to the drawable here, I want to where did it go? I had I want to get rid of that dimension because I want to tackle that a little later. I have here, this is where it is. Right, I want to let me just get rid of that part entirely. Keep this spot a little simpler. Let's just make sure that that's good. Yeah, good. So the reason this scale default is 80, by the way, while I'm here, is my screen pixel density is such that if I draw out something that is exactly an inch long, right, like this is close to 1 inch, if I actually held a ruler up to my screen, that would show up as 1 inch. Now, I don't want to calibrate scale of these things to the user's screen size. That doesn't really make sense. but it was a first pass at seeing how I could pass scale around as a thing in the state for all of these. But it needs a lot of redesign because every single component now is dependent on the scale, and it doesn't change the way I want it to, right? Like it scales properly the whole SVG, but then it does not scale all the parts within it. And so you get this weird scale difference mix, which is just no good. So obviously how I did that is not sufficient. Pardon me. I also want to inspect this element here for a minute, this pre-code tag here. If I get rid of the padding, white space, the font size of this is just a little large. Let me just have a look here. Let's add a little thing in here. Font family. Come on. Well, let's just go like this. Font size 0.8 em, I think. Nope. 0.6 em is a little small. Negative m doesn't matter. Let's go 0.7. 0.8 em seems good. 0.75. Yeah, sure. Right, so all I have to do there CSS. If I have a look at where the code entry is, there should be one code block here. May as well. No. That's not what I want actually. Right, so let me just do this as its own entry, code. One thing I don't know about is CSS Best Practices actually, so I might be doing stuff a little bit wrong, but my solution to that is to have as minimal a CSS thing as possible. Really keep things quite simple. So this is literally all the CSS is, right? Just probably 100 lines. And even some of this stuff is, I could probably clean it out even a little better. But I want to keep it really straightforward because I don't want to know necessarily tons and tons and tons of CSS nuance if I don't have to. You can make sites look really nice anyway by just minimal amounts of styling changes, so I'm pretty happy with that, at least for now. Alright, so all I need to do here is font size, and I had 0.75 em as an approximately good font size. So let's have a look. Yeah, that looks okay. It's good enough for now. Let me inspect this one more time. Right, so one thing I don't love about that is line spacing. Let's see here. Line height. Line height's not doing it. What would that be? Line height 0 makes no difference. Yeah, I don't know about that, but okay. It doesn't matter for right now anyway, so I'll leave it be. Oh, 1 second, I have to start a timer here. Yeah. Good, good. So one thing I don't know, I'm not sure what the right solution is. If I look here, right, for example, at this first point here, I have 3.115 in the display here. But if I look at the actual coordinates vector, right, it's 0.425 and then this long float value here, right? The idea was you want to display no more than 3 decimal places because the labels get huge in here, but you want to, if you want that, you want to copy more accurate numbers into your program, right? Not sure what the smart way to handle that is. That's why they're different. The rounding occurs in the label text building part, not in the coordinate itself. So the coordinate itself is saved as some long float, and then it's displayed with a rounding thing. That might be bad because it might be unintuitive, right? If the actual data is different than the rendered value, the user might be confused by that. That's not something I think is going to be a problem for a while, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. What's something I want to do next? Oh. Okay, I know. Next simple thing to change. When I click add draw here, it popped the thing on the top there. I want it to put it through the list the other way around. So what I'm going to do here, I don't have to reverse the items, I don't think. Let's see if that works. It does not. Oh, probably have to do this business. No way. What did I do? Huh. I'm surprised that that broke like that. Let's refresh the page. Huh. Why would that happen that way? Doesn't need an ID. There's that. That's fine. Fine for now. Let's see here. What did I do here? Let's try to fix this up just a little bit. Let's clean it up. Right, so I'm calling into div on nothing, right? So I kind of don't need, well, let's see if that makes sense first of all. Let's change things. One, just one little bit at a time, right? And we'll see if that works. Okay, it still seems to. Right, if I add another draw thing here, it's its own independent thing here, which is good. Clear, clear. Yep, so that's good for now. That makes sense. Right, so button on click has this whole function here, which is fine. There's almost certainly a cleaner way to do this as well, right? If I instead of scaffold, I just define an app and then build these things into the app the appropriate way, then I don't have to mount the scaffold. So let me do that. Yeah, so app here, nothing. Right, so the app is going to be the render of the header. Right, I should just be able to do that. And the spawner like that. Let's see if that actually is correct. So all I should have to do is render app like that. Let's see what happens. Yep. Okay, things look good there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so there's the mount. Mount app. Perfect, kinda. Scaffold, let's just get rid of it. Right, so spawner, for now that stays. That's where I'll add in different buttons for different tools. And eventually it would make sense to have this be a function or something, or a macro that automatically adds buttons in so that I don't have to manually put buttons into the component for every new tool that I add. I think that makes sense. But for the time being, I'm going to be okay with this little approach here. It's better than nothing. Also, maybe I don't even need to wrap it like this. Let's try that. Let me see if that'll render. No, it won't. Right, so that has to be this here. I'm pretty sure it means it's like a way to call it. It's a way to force React to render the list of things that you put through it, the list of components you put through it. I guess I'm not entirely sure. It's like if you do a div here, these will be rendered inside a div. They'll be nested. But if you do this, it's not a real div. They won't be nested. They'll just use these will be placed directly in the root div. I think that's what that means, more or less. And that's how I'm gonna do it for now. Right, and these at the bottom here are related to fig wheel stuff. So they're not really needed for if I were to just compile to production every time. Like if I didn't want hot reloading, these wouldn't really need to be in here. Maybe def ones go. Maybe that's good for running the mount of the app, but that's unimportant for today. So mount can stay as is. What was I trying to do? Oh yeah, I was trying to make this list the way. So actually I have to have a look at what the spawner is here. Right, so this button has this on click. I'm thinking if I should pull this function out into its own button component, maybe later. What I want to do is figure out why this isn't working the way I want it to. Because if I add items, I thought it would work because it's just a list, but it doesn't work. Right, so let's have a look through the console here, see what kind of errors are popping up. And let me save this. Right, so here we've got all kinds of problems. Assert failed, hiccup form should not be empty. Right, okay, so when not empty, let's see if that solves that problem. It does not. Wait, maybe let's refresh it entirely. Huh. Okay, so now there's a different problem here. Spawner, yep. Invalid arity. Maybe it's this. Maybe I have to do why? Well, I don't think this is the right solution to this problem, but let's see if it works. Okay, it does. And I want this to add at the end. Okay, so that is kind of okay for now. I'll leave it be. Right, so when it is empty, it doesn't render this. And let me just see here, will this work too? Or will that also error out on me? That errors out. Okay, so I got it. Okay, that's on the right track, so I'll be okay with that for now. Before I go into this much further, I do have to head to the washroom. I'll be right back. I want to fill up my water as well. I shan't be long. Okay. Let's just continue on. Actually, before I do, just anyone watching now or watching this later on Twitch or on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. I hope things are going well for you. If you're interested ever, feel free to leave comments or chat, anything like that. I love getting feedback, and I want more of it over time because I want to keep making this and I want to make it better. And for that to happen, I do need people to engage. So if you're up for that sort of thing, you go right ahead. I would love it. But if you're just there watching as well, quietly, you know, have this on as distraction in the background, who knows why, that's totally cool too. I appreciate the follows, just the attention in that little way. That's good too. In general, I hope everyone's doing okay, you know? Taking things one day at a time. One line of code, one S expression at a time. Because it's not always about getting everything done super quick. It's not always about anything, really. I wonder if I even know what I'm talking about right now. That doesn't make much sense anymore. I'm going to attempt something here. Okay. So the header does have to be a function, so it's good to know. That's good to know. Hey? What have I done? I've goofed it big. Huh. That's surprising to me. Let me double check this here. Save that, right? Rebuild this. Yeah, no, okay. We're good there. Perfect. Right, so I do have that is working okay, clear. This scale thing, let me think about that. Let me actually have a look in here. See, this is the kind of stuff that I think I have to figure out a smooth way to clean this part up. Right, I'm duplicating. Well, yeah, this just doesn't feel clean enough for me right now. I also want to, I have to look into this here. I commented this out. Maybe, let me see. Let me just see here what I can do. On my iPad here. I need to go to yes. Okay. All right. Perfect. So I'm going to switch this up for a moment. Oh. Right, I'm just setting up a little display to share my iPad screen, but I don't want to, just in case, I don't want to show it right away. QuickTime Player. Because I don't want people to send messages and they pop up on my iPad and you see all that stuff. No need for that. It's just no need. So while I build that or get that view set up, file, new movie recording, This is a recording. Hey, there we go. We already have it. Yes, perfect. It's beautiful. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me go back here. Right, so I have on this screen here, right, my iPad, and I use the Apple Pencil with it all the time. This is the first generation pencil or whatever it's called, the Pro. Anyway, what I'm doing here, I want to make this app function in a logical way on both the desktop and on things like an iPad or whatnot. So what I have is inside, you can't see me doing pinch to zoom. I can pinch to zoom when I touch in this area outside of the frame here, but if I'm doing pinch to zoom on the frame, it actually ignores that. And the reason for that is related to this. I can tap on the screen with the pencil to draw points, and I can drag points around with the pencil, no problem. And before, if I didn't ignore touch inputs on the SVG thing, it would scroll the screen up and down, like it would do this. So it would be kind of a bad experience. So this is a nice sort of step in the right direction. But the reason I'm actually pulling this up to test is because I have, I'm pretty sure if I undo this, oh, I have to, oh, right. I have to make it, it's metadata. There we go. Right, so this key thing here is because the way Reagent works, it needs unique keys for everything in lists, which actually makes a lot of sense. If you want to retrieve the exact thing back, you need a unique ID. So what I have here is the key metadata for each of the draggable points that gets put into this whole thing here, right, is just a gensim with the key prefix, which just does this. Key dash and then a number, and the number is guaranteed unique, and it just, in whatever context, it's an always increasing number, and it's just going to be unique. Gensim is often used inside, it doesn't have to be, but it's often used inside macros, so that you don't incorrectly bind variable names to the wrong things in macro. Unimportant. It's really useful and important to use inside macros when you're manipulating symbols and doing stuff with their values as well. You could accidentally shadow over a user's input variable names and stuff. And so gensim guarantees that you can make unique names that are consistent inside the macro, but then basically discarded and not needed outside of that. Luckily for us, we can use it to make keys. Gensim is just short for generate symbol, I'm pretty sure. So that's really all that means. But the reason I had it commented out was because of something that I don't know why it's this way, but it is, or it was last time I tried it. Now, right, it's hard to illustrate this, but the dragging doesn't work properly anymore. See that? It's not moving, and then, so I lift the pencil off, so it's not moving. If I lift it and place it, it starts moving after. So there's something wrong with where touch start and touch move are registered. I don't know, but that problem went away when I commented out this key thing here. So that, to me, I don't know why that is, but it's important to have that key thing there. If I inspect, go to the console, clear that out. These warnings here are every element in a seek should have a unique key, right? And that comes up when I add a draggable point into the points list of the state here. And so everything works, but it's just emitting warnings, right? But now if I bring this back in, refresh that, let's clear the warnings there. Now no warnings crop up at all, which is good. So that's something I don't really understand here yet. Oop, it's in the wrong spot there. When I add so that's just a note to myself about this here. There. Right, so in general there's stuff to fix up with this component because it's a little messy, I think. For example, this state thing here is, I hard-coded it into the atom here, which is fine for starting value, right? But it necessarily means the shape of the state now, how do I say this? This polygon call here gets, there's no problem with scale there. Here, this draggable point, here needs, so it needs the state, and it just sort of magically knows both, well, that the scale's in the state I wonder if this is, my brain went on a tangent for a minute. I wonder if I could turn this into a reaction, and a reaction is from, okay, it's just reaction directly. Right, so where was I? Reaction, like that, which then means this turns into at scale, at scale. Let's see if that messes things up. compile warning. Let's close this. Here. Didn't make a difference. Okay. Well, that's fine. Anyway, the point is this. I feel like the component, like the state, the shape of the state, and the design of the component are like really, really tightly linked together. And I don't know if that's a good idea. And I don't know how to avoid it if it is a bad idea. So I have to think about that. So if I, instead of worrying about that, pop over here and hide for now the scale input here, this div, if I just comment it out, that'll get rid of that text box at the bottom there. And if I also hide this, it'd be cool to make little checkboxes so you can hide and show more data about a thing. Anyway, what I want to do is see if I can the state right, so the spawner has a list of items. It'd be really cool to be able to spawn something else that shows the result, or that renders the value of the state of one of the items in a different spot. Does that make any sense? Does that make sense? What's a smart way to do that? What's a smart way to show that, first of all? Right, so what I mean is something like, okay, let me close that up. Let's go to namespace here. I want to see if there's a way, if I do stylo.fabric as fabric, if that'll actually find the namespace or if it won't. Okay, no such namespace, stylo.fabric. So that is because, let me see what happens if I do right, if I tangle this into a new file in there and I save this, it should find that namespace now. No. Severe. No such namespace. Oh. Maybe it has to be like that. Let's try that. Hey, okay. So that's a different error, right? It couldn't analyze it because because the file's not the file's not like legit, right? Source stylo fabric.cljc, right? It's not. Right, so if I do that, let me just require nothing, save that. Okay, so it works, right? So if I now go here, stylo.fabric/hi, it should print hi into here. Yes, it does. Let me make sanity check. Hello. So that's a change to the file. Now this, probably because it hasn't reloaded, it should still say hi. But if I go here, save this, right, it recompiles. And now if I do this, I have to load the file again, I guess, eh? No changes. So what's the reload? Oh, there's got to be a way to reload stuff, right? Well, let's cheat. Here it's going to be stylo.fabric/hi. Hi. Okay, so cancel, wrong thing. Refresh this. FUD. Okay. And now, so if I refresh the page, okay. So I guess this REPL here running in my terminal behind my head, I guess is the browser. It's just the browser instance, I suppose. So if I refresh the browser, it reloads the namespace and then it has the new update in there, I guess. Right, so if I save this file, the file there is saved with a new thing, right? But if I go here, that doesn't change. This also, despite reloading the file, doesn't make the change here. But if I refresh this page, it now says hello, and this now says hello. Okay, so changes to dependencies need to reload the browser to reload the file in there, kind of, anyway. Something like that. Okay, that's fine. That's good. Good to know, good to know. But this is making me have to rethink. This makes me rethink a few things about about how I'm actually trying to build out this library. It's a little bit messy. And of course, I mean, of course it is, right? That's just, I'm used to the fact that I build messy libraries now. It's just gonna have to be okay for the time being. But I wonder, let me pop this open. deps.eden here. If I go, what's the syntax of that? If I do this one, right, there's paths. If I do paths, source tests and I wonder if that's valid. I have no idea if that's going to work. But the idea is, instead of doing this, I can tangle it back into here, right? Tangled that. Save that. See if it breaks. Probably will. Yeah, could not analyze. Oh, okay. Failed to compile. Oh no, that's foolish of me. If I go cd dev stylo list cd source remove fabric. Right, so list, I've got builder and draw are the two namespaces here. I should maybe just move Should extensions be its own project entirely? I don't want to do that right now. Anyway, let's refresh this. No, let's save this first of all. Oh, hey, the problem went away. Theoretically, kinda. Okay, I really probably should make the extensions a folder inside the source instead of just right in the project level directory. Let me just sanity check here. Okay, what's a function that I can make sure is working here? If I do square, okay, let's call sq, fabric/sq, and see if that will work. So let's pop into drawable here. Right, all we want to do is add into here fabric/square the side length, we'll make it 1 inch. How's that? Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Stylo.fabric/square. Oh, it didn't work after all. Hey. Ooh, okay, so it is not working. I got ahead of myself there. Right, so the app's there. Okay, let me do the appropriate thing now and tangle this into the proper folder, which will be source stylo extension / fabric.cljc. And this I copy and paste into all of these here. Okay. Let me see if I explore this folder a little bit. cd extension, right? Fabric.clj and cljc. Ooh. Okay, I goofed something here. This is cljc, cljc, cljc. CLJC. Yep. Yes, okay. Okay. Okay, I just opened it in Vim and it looks like everything is more or less correctly in there, which is a good thing. Pardon me. Okay. Now if I go back out into list, remove fabric from here, right, okay, so that's saved. Extensions. Into source, stylo, extension / extension name.cljc. Good. And fabric is the extension I'm trying to get a hold of here, right? So if I actually do this, the namespace here should be stylo.extension.fabric, like that, right? So there, now if I open this stylo.extension.fabric as fabric, could not analyze. Okay, so we have don't know how to create sequence from language keyword. Line 1 of file fabric.cljc. Really, eh? What's going on here? Okay. Right, so this I do believe is coming from here, right? If I do this, now there should be a different problem when I save this. Perfect. Oh, well, perfect. Now, okay, so right, stylo.draw. Let's do this here. Stylo.draw as draw. Okay. Clojure string as s, stylo draw as draw. Hiccup. Okay. Fabric styles is its own thing. Here, okay, I have square. Actually doesn't refer to anything in the turns out I need to clean this part up too, even. Funny how that goes. Right, so this shapes is not actually using anything in the draw library. Stack is using right, draw / translate string, I think, is probably oh wait, maybe let me head into here for a moment, have a look. I know that these are colors more than anything. Just trying to be clever with my names, and it's confusing. Actually, it's actually the class, not the color, which is another point of probably bad design. Pains me. These things pain me, unfortunately. Right, so draw / point string. Yeah, okay. Map draw / translate string. Scale thing is whatever. Draw / polygon D. Ooh, did I double polygon things here? Shape. Stack, polygon template, name points, list is all this stuff. Perfect, okay. Draw / polygon, draw / offset, draw / move, draw / bounding box center points, draw label. Here we are getting into draw / this, draw / scale, draw / dot. Okay, that looks correct. Points, diamond points, which is defined in here. Half width, concat, polygon template is right up here. Name points, draw / line dashed. Yes, okay, that looks good. Colorize template, template color. Seamless piece. Okay, now this big old thing, right, is bit of a mess. Square, draw / move, square, draw / move that, draw / move that, draw / rotate. Not sure what is actually a cleaner way to do this, right? If I draw / everything, or if I refer in specific symbols. It's unclear to me. Okay. Woof. And one day when all this stuff is churning around way less, like when the design of this becomes clear, it'll be really nice not to have to change things like this all the time, because this is not smooth for me. I don't love it. Let's start doing this. Because this was probably not the right choice to append or prepend draw slash to all of these. Probably would have made more sense to figure out what symbols need to be imported and import them. You know? Oh man, I hate that. These Okay, moment of truth. So one thing I did at least realize as I'm going through these here, almost certainly I missed some stuff, but for right now that's fine. What I noticed is I actually don't need any of these in the namespace. I'm pretty sure. Let's see what happens when I zip this back here, save that, have a look. Okay, we're on the right track, and I'll be right back. I have to check something quickly. Just getting messages, you know, gotta check on this stuff. Alright, I'm back in action. What do I do next? let's have a look. Let's refresh the page, see what's going on. Let's open up that console, see what errors it's going to tell us about. Let's refresh it. Okay, so WebSocket, that's fine. Here's some. Type error. Oh, right. Okay, now if I look at the header, this doesn't exist anymore. So we got to do silo.extension.fabric, right? Oh, also, I don't want to test that in here. Let's get rid of that. Awesome. We have things working again. Sweet. Okay, so the next thing to do is make sure it's actually working, right? And what I want to do to get to check that is make a little, let's just make a little thing right here. If I go do draw slash figure, which if I go here, right, let me have a look at containers here, figure. It's going to take a width, height, and the scale. I'm going to do 500 by 300, and the scale is, let's just make it 14. No, let's make it 20, right? And the description is test description, right? And then, okay. That's the test description. And now content is just going to be also, I'm not totally sure this will work, but I'm going to find out by trying it. Isn't trying it always the best way? Let's have a look. If I go to extensions now in Fabric, and the bottom one here, blueberry point method, right? The function bb method. I don't want to. No, that's too much work. I don't want to use that one. Let's just try a square. Fabric slash square 2. That'll be the content. See what happens. It actually worked. Let me check something else here. Let's try this, okay? Call it as a normal function, should work. Let's call this one as a normal function as well, and have a look at what happens then. Sweet. Okay, so we have sort of working. Awesome. Okay, so things are kind of coming together a little bit here, which I'm pretty happy with, right? So what I've just done, I've managed to successfully use this figure function from a different library that I'm working on, which is totally independent of reagent, okay? That works here, just as a normal function. I also have a different function in the same library, but in an extension, which probably, as I clean up the architecture, that probably has to change. I might spin it off into its own app, potentially. But the point is, those things are working for me right now, which is really nice. So the next thing to just test here is I'm going to add into this Fabric thing a class called ASDF. Okay, so the reason that went black here is because it's looking for a class in the CSS file now. So if I add ASDF here, I want it to be fill, and the color is going to be hot pink. Does that work? Oh, I need to make it. Hey, it does work. Sweet. Okay. Right, so that is what I mean by the color mechanism is a little confusing still, because I originally had everything going into a CSS, right? So you use CSS to transport your colors around, but it might actually make sense to have colors be something that you can put into like a state atom or something like that. That way you can change it in text boxes and things like that. I don't know what the right approach there is, but for now I am just going to be okay to leave it as is and think about and experiment with changes as I go. But for right now, I'm pretty excited that this is starting to work. Excuse me, I'm getting a little tired. It's been a long week for me. Hope everyone's doing okay though. If you're tired, that's cool. You know how it is sometimes, right? Just long days, working hard, and then you just want to do a little less sometimes, you know? Okay, so the let me mess around with something here for a minute. Okay, I want to see how easily I can make this square resizable without a ton of extra effort. I'll see how easy it turns out to be. Maybe it's not easy at all. But I'm going to give it a try. Okay, yeah, let's give it a shot. Right, so what I have here is a whole figure that I don't need right now in here. Get it out of there. We'll instead render the component whip. Sure, it's a horrible naming convention, but we'll start there and make things better as we go, right? Moral of the story is just do something, fix it up later. Whip, defen whip, right? Takes no arguments and is this. Good, still works. 3, yes. Yes, it's working. Beautiful, beautiful. Right, so the next thing to do okay, so just like I did here in this drawable thing, right? It has a let here that builds in a state, which is a local to that component. So I'm going to follow the same idea there. So I'm going to do here, let state be reagent atom. And we're just going to start with what does it need? It needs a point in it as its default, right? And a point I made, right? So here, these here, draggable points have for point from points in state. So points is a list of points, and a draggable point, which is confusing, has all this business going into it, which is first, it goes like this. The draw event generates a point which looks like this here. Lots to smooth out with this. Lots to smooth out. All I want to do though is produce A is a point, and so is B, with scale xy, right? Where I don't love it. Right, so what I need is just to make two draggable points, one at the start of the square and one at the end of the square. The x and y values of those points I want to be equal so that it scales itself, so it'll always scale itself properly. No, but that's not actually what I want. I just want the difference from point A and B to have the same, the delta has to be the same, right? So I could move, oh boy. Well, okay, let's simplify, right? We'll start with just one point. Get rid of this entirely. Scale will hard code as 20. X, we'll make it 3. And y will also make it 3. Okay. So, no. You know what? We're going to start even simpler. We're not going to do that. We're going to make this state atom for this piece as I'm working on it, right, is just going to be a single value. It's going to be 3. Okay? Right? So we're going to do this. So this fabric square is just going to be at S. Okay. Is that going to work? Let's test that. Okay. Right, so we've successfully linked the value of this S atom into the side of this square. Okay. So the next thing to do let's make a draggable. Oh no, we want to do it after that. Oop. Yeah. Okay. So now inside this let here we do draggable point, and draggable point takes an XY and a state. Right, and this is where the state of it is going to be XY is going to be at S, and the state of it is going to be r/atom that looks like scale 20 x at s, y at s. So this is something that I don't think I did properly, right? I have draggable point taking in x, y values here, but also it's getting past the whole state, so it's, I don't know that that's actually the correct approach, but we'll work with it and see what's going on. Nothing apparently. So that means what? What did I do? Probably have to do this. Oh, of course this is wrong here. Figure there. Okay, right? Draggable points in there, figures there. Let's have a look. Is that gonna work? Yeah. Right, so so we kind of have things working. But not quite. Right, so the point drags, which is nice. If I refresh this even, right, is it the right, it's at the right point here. What I wanted was, as I drag this, right, I wanted x and y to remain equal, so I wanted to constrain it that way, but I also wanted this square to take a new at s here, but that's not what happened. And the reason for that, I don't know yet. I have to still try wrap my head around this stuff. That's not it. Nope. Right, so that doesn't make a difference. So let's go there. Oh, of course. No, not of course. What if I don't make it a... What if I just do this? What happens? Does it break? It probably breaks. We'll find out though. Yeah. What happened now? Let's see here. I'm sure there's stuff I'm doing very wrong right now. Let's go to the console. Let's clear things out. So nothing's going wrong there. Let's save changes to the file. Warning, yes. Wait, where's that coming from? Oh, whatever. Okay, that's fine. This draggable point here. Am I being foolish by passing that in? If I switch the order of these around, I don't think that wouldn't, it doesn't seem like that should make a difference, right? Because it's a reactive state thing, and now it's just behind there, which is fine. Zoom that in. Yeah, see it, that's, no. Okay, so the thing about this, is, I thought that because the draggable point changes the point positions, right? As you drag it, that changes, that it would bubble back up and change the state, the S here, and then subsequently change S here, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Right, if I do change this to 4, I do see both of those things change, but that's not a problem. Zoom, where's the zoom? Let me zoom it back to 100 here. Whoa. The difference here, right? I'm grasping a little bit here, but if I do, need a, yeah, that does not surprise me. Yeah, that's silly, of course. Well, let me try to mess this up a little bit. Let's make another one. Variable point 2, and it only takes in state. How about that? Right? So X position, Y position's that. This function takes only state. Let's see what happens. Let's have a look. Okay, draggable point 2 takes nothing but this state. Still is working as a component. Good, good, good. It is using draggable point 2. That's what I want to know. Okay, so oh, getting messages from my watch telling me to stand up and be active. I think that's reasonable. I don't know why, or I don't understand how to connect my state properly through everything. That's the problem I'm having at the moment. What I might do is try a different thing. Very descriptive of me, huh? Okay, yeah. I realized the way this draggable point here, right, the way it works, there's going to be a conflict, I think, because X and Y change independently and they can't both change the state. See, now they're tied, right? Kinda. I mean, this is still broken here. Same with this. Right, so those are tied together. But that's not... Oh boy. Let's flip this around. Let's ignore this. We'll go back to draggable point 1. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, this state is going to actually be this exact thing here. Right? This, and then I'm gonna make X is a reaction, X at state and this is actually not X, it's going to be S. So squares at S. And then draggable point, I'm just going to pass it try that. Still no. Okay, so that didn't change anything at all. Why is this happening? Shouldn't matter if it's X or Y. Nope. Yes, yes, yes. I'll leave that for now. Well, okay, let's change it like this. Let's do that. Oh, this has to be X at state. Still no. I really thought that this was proper, right? Like, this is moving the polygon that it's drawing from, or that I thought that would have worked. It doesn't though, so I have to figure out why. Right, so what I have here, right, is d/polygon is made up of the points that exist in the state here, right? So points is empty, but if I go here into this draggable point, it does change This doesn't make sense to me. I need to understand the way this works a little more clearly, obviously. It should be straightforward, but it clearly isn't working for me. Well, okay, let's copy the state of this, right? Let's do it that way. Let's make this state equal our atom. Scale is that. Here we have points. It's a list. Okay. A list of r/atom that looks like this, and that atom will be scale. Ooh, can you reference yourself in there? I suspect you can. Scale at state. Let's see what happens when I do that. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen when I do that. Right, so that's that atom. That's the state. And then S is a reaction. No, that's a bad idea. It's not a reaction in here. Right, and now I do in here for point in points at state. For all of those, this is wrapped in a do all. Right, so for all of those points, you do, for points at state, you do fabric square is going to be the size of, let's call it the x value of the point, right? So you take x at point there, and then the draggable point is draggable point is x at point, and just to not cause problems, we'll do y at point like that. Does this make any sense? Let's find out what happens. Could not analyze. Wrong number of arguments passed. Yeah, okay, fair enough. 4 point blah blah blah. Oh, gotta maybe do this. Unmatched delimiter, eh? Where? Oh geez, I messed it up. Okay, draggable point, yeah. Close that thing. Close the for, do all, that. Compile warning. At state is undeclared. Is it though? Let's have a look. Okay, points. R atom, that's points. See our atom there. State. Right, this is talking about what I attempted to do here. This is obviously a bad design, right? It's not good. It also doesn't work. Great. Okay, I'm going to abandon this part for right now, and instead what I want to do is make a define whip. What I want it to be is a figure template from drawing. Square 2. Okay, let's see if that works. Nothing, eh? Oh, of course, I have to do this. Drawing slash figure fabric square. Okay. ASTF. Okay, so we have a drawing. Okay. This fabric square thing I want to change out for tool. Ooh, let's try this just for kicks. Stack. Fabric slash stack. This thing 4 times. Yeah, okay. So things are working. Things are working nicely. I wonder if this works. It does. I mean, the meta isn't sticking here. Maybe I have to do it this way, like this. In this part. Right, the warnings are the same. Oh, viewbox is an invalid property? Really? Oh, that would be up, that would be a problem up all the way up here. Should, let's see, that viewbox error should be gone at least. Socket error, that's fine. All the gets are from the dev stuff being crazy. Right, so this here, every element, blah, 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 blah. That's related to this stack thing here. And I was just checking if this key metadata would work inside here, but it doesn't, it's not smart enough to do it that way. Right. Well, maybe if I did it this way, would it be intelligent enough now? Treat it as a... No. Yeah, that's not solving that. Okay. Let's try just one more thing here. No, still not happy with that. Yep, okay, well that doesn't matter for right now anyway. It's not what I wanted to work on next. What I wanted to attempt next was the idea that I could, right, let's call in fabric slash template. So we got stack, polygon template here is what I'm thinking of, right? So I've got fabric slash polygon template, and it takes a name, which we'll just do ASDF for no real reason, just for kicks, and it takes a list. So we'll hard code it in for right now. But what I want to do is make it so that this list that it has gets pulled from a drawing instead, because that'd be kind of cool. Okay, so close that. So what that means is we just need oh boy. We just need to focus for a minute. I'm getting a little tired, as you might be able to tell. Okay. Right, so we do indeed, if I make this figure 720 by 1000 by the scale is 80. Let's try that. We do indeed have a template, but it's missing something here. Okay. There should be dotted lines between the points. This polygon dash D isn't working. Oh, it might be related, maybe, maybe I don't have that, oh. Okay, it might be related to the CSS. Maybe I don't have the right CSS in there. Let's have a look. Style base, draw, I have line, shoot. Annotations, SVG. Annotations. Label, line, line dashed. Okay, polygon dash D. Where is that? Might be a scale problem. Oh, here, line dash D is a class that I apparently don't have. Figures, draw. Huh. I didn't realize that I didn't have that. Well, let me add that in here. It's going to be the same. Pixels 2, but then it has to follow the idea of SVG annotations. Line dash D here has to have dash array. Oh, and maybe it does have to be a little bit different. Start with that. Okay. Stroke width, get rid of this. Also get rid of that. Okay, there's that. So that's there, but I haven't linked this CSS into my ASDF temporary thing, so I'm gonna just do a little manual work here for a minute. Line dash D. Okay, stroke width is fine. Stroke line cap round is fine. Oop. Stroke dash array 4,5. That should be good as long as I type it properly. Let's copy this up to this one just for kicks. Okay, save that. And refresh it. This is now not what I thought it would be. Let's go this way. Extensions, fabric. Tools. Template, polygon template. Here, should be good. Line dash D. Oh, well, okay, so it's just wrong. What's the error here? Invalid property value. Maybe I don't need to double quote it. Yeah. Okay. And the quotes are here as well, and they don't need to be. Ah, of course. Okay. Right, so I did the thing where I thought I was in a Clojure context, right? But that's here, line cap round 4, 5. That should refresh and be fine. It's a thing of beauty. Okay, so let's do a one of those classic. Let me just see here. If I do fabric/move, takes XY first. Okay. Let's move it a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch, because I'm pretty sure that's the offset value for these here. Oh, really? Oh, of course, it's draw/move. Cool, okay. All right, so okay, we've got some basis here. The idea I had was to build this prototype tool for someone who wants to make, say, a quilt template or something, right? What you do, you have a draw, and you draw the shape of the thing you want, eventually being able to snap it to normal dimensions and stuff, so that you don't have to drag it weirdly across like that. Like these values are strange, right? And then this gets rendered this way automatically for you. So in order to do that, what I want to do is link them up in an intelligent manner. That's the trick, eh? Link it up in an intelligent manner. All I really need to do is kind of copy the idea here. This drawable, right? It has a state associated with it here. It returns a function with the state wrapped in it there. But instead, I'm going to mock things this way. State is this. Okay. Yeah, okay, so basically that's fine for now. We'll leave that there. With height has this scale thing associated in there. That's good. the figure I'm drawing here is independently set up. The only thing this figure needs this figure exists inside that div, which exists inside that, which is inside that. Okay, the only thing I need to put into the figure instead of this list is points at state two points of that. Of course, I need to transform it. Let's see what happens. Whoa, it worked. Okay, so this is obviously not that great, right? There's a lot of stuff to improve, but that is looking pretty neat if I do say so myself. I am quite happy with that so far. Right, so the idea okay, I'm happy with this. But whip takes, I forgot to give it dimensions here. What am I looking at? Okay, if I have okay, I'm gonna get going soon, but I just want to clean up one little thing yet. How do I want to present this? Why is this div here anyway? Do I need it? No. Okay. Right, so what I want to do is in this whip here, 500 by 500. Okay. Ah. I did it wrong. I have to do it this way. Okay, so there's a lot of things to work out, but it's looking pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked about that. So here, this scale, if I make it 20, I can draw shapes way smaller, which is kind of nice. I don't know why the winding of that is the wrong way here. Oh, what happened? Oh. Well, okay, if I make the scale a lot smaller, I can make the window smaller. Let's do 300, 300, save that. Let's have a look there. No, you know what? Let's even do 300 by 200. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy with this as a proof of concept. Sweet. Okay, so ASDF is a silly name, but if I go here and do name, Name is there. Okay. This button is a clear button, but I can also do, ooh, I had this the other day. This, I deleted the scale thing, didn't I? Let me go over here and find that text box thing again. Here, right? Time. Color input, here is an input of type text with a value from the state and an onChange function, which I can actually work on from here. Okay, oop, that's bad. This, okay, there. Boy, oh boy, this is messy, right? A lot of stuff to fix and clean up, which I'm totally fine with. This is exploratory. Type text value is not at time color. It is, in fact, name at state. And then on change, I just want to swap state assoc name oops, and then target value, yeah, which is this here. Right? I think that makes sense. I think that'll work. Find out. Yeah, okay, cool. And then instead of this, it's name at state. Sweet. Alright, now, last thing I want to do before I get off the stream is okay, let me change the name of this. Actually, let's do the fabric template sketcher, right? F, we'll make it H1, and then here H3. Proof of concept. Yeah, how's that? Oh, I keep forgetting to wrap these things in things. Sweet. Okay. Hey, Gmaster HD, how's it going? Having a good day? I am feeling pretty happy myself with this proof of concept tool that I've cobbled together. Let me see if there's something else I can do a little bit better here. Let's do let's make a little explanation here. Paragraph. You're awake all night, lie down for a short time at noon, and woke up now. Oh, don't worry about if you're doing any translation or anything like that, that you're trying to communicate in English, no problem on my end, so don't worry about that. So you're awake all night. What were you doing? What were you working on something, or were you having trouble sleeping? If, by the way, if you use Google Translate and I am confused by something, I might ask, oh, I don't understand, but never feel bad about it, even a little bit. Don't worry about that at all. Playing some games? Man, I've been there. Sometimes it's like, let's say 10 p.m. and my brain is like, I should go to bed. And then I'm playing my Switch, my Nintendo Switch, and I just look at my watch again and it's 12 o'clock. Oh, the time goes like that and you don't even notice it. Anyway, I hope you had fun at least, eh? Yeah, you know that. It's so easy to get sucked into it, you know, even if you really should get some sleep. Hey, I hope you had fun though. That would be that'd be nice, eh? At least. Right, let's write up a short explanation. Let's see. 3 a.m. said last round. 6 a.m. Oh, oops! Didn't we say only one round? Yeah. Once you're in that zone, you know, you just want to keep having a good time with it, right? Those games are designed to keep you engaged. And if it's a fun game, and you know, maybe once in a while it's okay, right? He also fell asleep. He's not online anymore. I mean, at some point your body kind of takes over for you, right? Your body's like, you're not going to bed? I'm going to force you to sleep at least a little. see. Biggest problem is how should I sleep tonight? Yeah, it's a good question. For myself, anytime my sleep schedule goes off a little bit, what I try to do is shift it back over the course of, say, 2 or 3 days. So let's say one night I stayed up super late, and I know it's a problem. The next night I'll kind of force myself to go to bed, let's say, an hour earlier than I normally would. And then the next day after that, do it again, and then it can kind of get back to normal. 8 p.m. you're tired, 2 a.m. you're completely awake. So the other thing about all that is it might be, like, as far as I know, I'm not a sleep scientist or anything like that. Some people just genuinely feel more awake at kind of different times, right? I think it also depends kind of how old you are, right? As you get older, I think you kind of start to feel better waking up earlier and going to bed earlier, but that's not necessarily true. It might just be, okay, 8 p.m. you happen to feel really tired just naturally, and 2 a.m. you're going to feel more awake. And if you can manage it, it might make sense to have your normal schedule be, okay, I stay up fairly late, and then I actually wake up a little bit later, but you still get a normal amount of sleep. I don't know. I know that sleep is very frustrating sometimes. Hang in there. Eventually you'll find a good rhythm, I think. But it's worth trying to figure it out, because sleep is a really valuable thing, right? In general, if you want a nice working brain through the day, sleep's really helpful for that kind of thing. You can type a name in the text box to label the template. Yeah. Final thing. Let's see here. If the dotted lines are outside, you have to flip the arrangement of points. For example, move one of the points of a triangle through the line opposite, this is confusing, to the other side, or with a square swap two corners. The offset algorithm assumes that the points are drawn in a, is it clockwise or counterclockwise? I don't remember. My normal sleeping rhythm in the vacation is like this. Wake up at 12 a.m., go to bed at 4 a.m. 12 till 4. Wake up at 12, go to bed at 4. Oh, and then sleep until around now again? Like sleep from 4 till noonish, something like that? Anyway, if it's vacation mode, I guess you could kind of get away with different sleep schedules a little bit, right? This template's going all crazy. Right, so I forgot what I was even checking there. That's silly of me. Clockwise direction. Okay. This is... Okay, so that's the explanation. Let's pop that in here. Okay, now let's see if I can make something that makes sense here. Let's do last thing I want to do. Let's call this something template POC, proof template proto. How's that? Template proto, which would go here, template proto. And we'll make this drawing area 300 by 500. Does that make sense? No, let's do 400. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, gotta clear that now. Oh man, this is way off there. That's my bad. Really? Okay, Well, okay, let's get my, let's go 12, 1300's fine. This is a little messy, but you know, for what I'm trying to accomplish here, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, so here, nope. That can go up like that. These points are not as draggable as I had hoped. They're a little finicky yet. Okay. Really? Come on. Eesh. Let's go with 200 by 300, I think, is probably pretty good. Yeah, that'll be okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. All right. Last thing I want to add is a little helper here that'll show dimensions as you draw this here. Okay. So template proto up here is what I'm looking for. I also am going to get rid of this move here because I don't really need it for this example anyway. Okay, so that's good. But up here on draggable points, in this spot here, this is where I actually do want to add 4 point endpoints at state. Shoot, I have to do this a little differently, don't I? Yeah, okay, let's do another one of these convoluted things. Do all for line in partition 2, 1 second of work points at state. Right, what I do there now, I do key gensim key unique key, and I create a draw slash dimension from draw SVG annotations. Dimension takes AB. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so dimension line like that should work. Let's find out. No, something went wrong. Could not read. Let's fix the zoom here. Ooh, I goofed something again. This happens a lot. Okay, do all for boy, this is getting convoluted. Okay. Let's have a look here. That's got to do with the fact here that let's start this right here. Fix this up. Okay, 2 points. There's that fabric. That's the figure. Okay. And this button stands alone, this input stands alone, this do all stands in the SVG, yeah, which is good. So this should close that, close the function, let, and the definite. That should work. Yeah, okay. It all blew up. Let's inspect this and see what's going on. How about that? Let's have a look. Errors. Objects are, oop, yep. All kinds of errors here. Objects are not valid as React child. Well, okay. Let's get rid of this do all and see if that fixes stuff. If it gets me back to a working state. Indeed it does. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to get going soon, but what I want to do is head to dev/ASDF. There, okay. What I want to do now is build alias prod. I'm going to compile this example into a production build for a minute. I think I just figured out why this didn't work. So points at state and the dimension expect different things here. So this has to actually be 2 points of line, and that should work actually. Okay, so the compile worked, but actually now, before I finish that up, I want to test this again. Ah, still doesn't work. Why would that be? Let's do it this way. 2 points. Let's try that, see if that works. Okay, let's also refresh the whole page for a minute here. Have a look. Still no. Okay, well, that's a problem for another day then. Make sure this works. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Okay, last thing I wanted to do away with is this actually. I know this is going to give me complaints, but it should work on my iPad. Let me check that. Okay, so this is refreshing for a minute. Fabric template sketcher. Okay, so we have that. And we're able to move things. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good. And that works. Cool. Okay, so that's really quite nice as a proof of concept. I'm happy with that. So let me, now I have to actually build it one more time. All I'm going to do, I'm going to build it, and then I'm going to put it in a, I'm going to run my little script that embeds it into a single HTML file, and then I can use that as a demo tool, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, so compiling, ignoring some of those warnings because that's okay for now. Certainly not something you want to do if you're making actual production stuff, but these are simple little prototypes. Okay, now all I want to do, if I go to resources here, nope, sorry, up here, I have this embed little script. If I do chmod 755 of embed, and then I run /embed, and then I open out.html. Let's just make sure that it works. That should show up here in a minute. Okay, so here I'm opening the file without running it through a server. So it's pure client-side operation, and it is indeed working, which is really quite great. So that does mean I can pop it into my GitHub and send that link to people who I want to show it to, which is really cool. So let's see. So the files, the out HTML file size is 512 kilobytes, which is pretty decent. I mean, it's tiny enough that you can easily attach it to emails if you wanted to do that. It's good for a reason, like it's good for distribution, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So last thing to do will be let's see here. Wait, I guess I can show this. It's not. All I'm doing here is adding dev asdf out.html, copying it into index.html here. Right, so this is my GitHub landing page repo. So all I need to do now is go to vimindex.html. Oh, sorry, actually, vimindex.md. Just quickly edit this. Quilt punk prototype. Sure, that's good. HTTPS Adam James v.github.io/dev/qpunk proto. Shoot, is that what I actually called it? I don't remember. Silly. It's a little silly of me. So if I go dev/adam/index.md. Okay, I'm watching that. Now if I go here, cd dev list qpunk proto, yeah. So vim here, that's the qpunk prototype, qpunk proto. That should be good. Escape that. WQ. This should now build the HTML. Just give it a moment. In theory, it'll work. Okay, so that's that. And now if I go here, if I open index just to test it locally, qpunk prototype, this should go to a 404, which it does. This should work. Yep. And this should go, yep. Cool. Perfect. Now just git status. Push that. Okay, so that's pushed up to the GitHub. So this is still served locally. This is the local file, which is fine. But now let's go to my GitHub page. Right, so it's still not, just got to refresh it a bit. I guess you got to give it probably a minute or two to actually propagate the changes, right? But if I'm impatient, I can sit here and do refreshes here. Which is kind of ridiculous. Let me go /dev/qpunk proto / okay, the site is up, which is pretty cool. Neat. Now let me check. Oop, not what I meant. There we go. Awesome. Okay, that was a successful day for me. I feel pretty happy about that. Learned quite a well. Messed around with prototypes again. Was able to make an embedded example prototype here. Got that on the site. I learned a lot of weaknesses with how I laid things out at a beginning point. I learned especially that I really need to focus on the component that I designed for these draggable points is not really reusable enough for what I need. And there's also some problems I need to sort out when it comes to dragging these on mobile platforms, so phones and tablets and stuff like that. So lots of work to do, but this is really exciting for me because it's like it's stepping into actual usability stuff, which I'm happy with how fairly straightforward it is to actually produce usable things. I'm pretty stoked about that. So I had a good day. Thanks for tuning in. Anyone who's watching this live or who might be watching it at some point in the future, I really appreciate that. I'll be back tomorrow, so thanks so much. I hope everyone has a good time, has a good day, gets the sleep they need, all that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna be on my way. I've got other work I want to get done. So yeah, you hope, well, you know, treat yourself respectfully, right? Get the sleep you need and you'll be okay. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna get going now. Have a good one. Goodbye.